Welcome back to Africa Science Focus, the weekly science and development show from SciDevNet. I'm Ogechi Kanyewo. We're back for another episode of our Science Explained series. In this episode, we look at how Ghana's Agbogbloshie market, one of the world's largest e-waste dumping sites, affects the health of people who live and work there. Agbogbloshie market is near the center of Ghana's capital, Accra, and our reporter, Justice Baidoo, visited the market to assess the level of environmental pollution, revealing the complex environmental challenges impacting the community of residents and workers.
I'm walking through the Agbogbloshie market. It's the largest food market here in Accra, Ghana's capital. It's a busy, sunny day. All around me, there are all different types of foods, tomatoes, fruits, vegetables like pepper, garden eggs, and the things that you inhale. It's very difficult, even for me, having come here so many times. The air that is here is thick. It's obvious from how you feel when you inhale that there's so many things in the air that you are inhaling. There's a station that is carrying people mainly from northern Ghana to come and do menial jobs inside this market. There are mechanics who are fixing cars, there are welders, there's people carrying and offloading yams, people selling yams, people selling all manner of things, everything. There's absolutely nothing that you can think of that you won't find inside Agbogbloshie market.
Those smoky fumes make life a struggle for those who live and work there. We hear from Rukaya Abdullahi, a head porter and petty trader at Agbogbloshie market, who speaks about the environmental impact on her health.
I came here about 2021. When I came here, I faced so many challenges. I take it as a normal, as life. Even sometimes my colleague will ask me, "Oh, what kind of work that you are doing?" So, even though I'm carry kaya, but if any opportunity comes, I have to leave it and go. Whatever I'm doing, I have to go because I don't know where my opportunity will come one day. So when I came first, I sleep outside because I don't know anybody, and this is my first time. I face so many challenges in life. That is how it is.
What makes life at Agbogbloshie challenging is that the market is right next to one of the biggest waste dumps in Africa. Not any perishable waste, but e-waste, discarded electrical goods, old computers, television, fridges, power tools, laptops, everything. Some of the residents there mine, recycle, and fix these e-waste products for useful components. But what's left after that is often a mass of cables containing valuable copper. Scrap merchants then buy the copper if it's free of all the plastic insulation, and the simplest way to get rid of that is to burn it. This releases clouds of acrid black smoke containing toxic chemicals which fills the air and makes it difficult for the market traders such as Rukaya to breathe.
It pollutes our air that we are breathing, and it causes health issues like asthma, BP, hepatitis B, and so many things. And then it can also affect your liver. And then sometimes you see some of the boys, they are just walking like they have some mental problems because of the smoke. And sometimes you get your kidney because of the smoking. When you are smoking inside, this thing is no good. Sometimes even me myself, when I heard this thing, my head will inch the whole of that day. So I think that smoke, it affects us too much. It's no good.
I want you to talk about when you're a mother and you get pregnant and you have to give birth here in this area, the burning and everything and the children that are here, you as a mother, how does that make you feel?
I'm feeling bad because of the children, because sometimes it will affect, but today you will not see, but one day it will affect them because of the smoking that they are smoking inside their inside. Because here, I don't have any place to go because that smoking is no good, but it will affect the child that inside my stomach. And I say, oh, me, I don't have any place to go. So that is why I'm managing here.
So you said that when you gave birth, you had to send your child away from here.
Yes.
Tell me why? Why did you consider the health environment, and why did you take the decision to send your child from here to live somewhere?
Because if the child is here, I think she will not get a good character and she will not get a good mind to do something. Because my child is it's not even out to 2 years, and I send it to my mother. But the child is second when I send it to my mother, because when I see the way the things are doing, sometimes it will come to that the child will cough. When I see that, when you cough, when I see the saliva is like black. Sometimes when I send it to hospital, they say because of this in there we are smoking, it's inside the child is even smoking, and it's too young. And I say, okay, if that will be the case, I will send the child to my mother. You said the child will be there and die because of the environment. Or the smoking and other things. If you will see the small baby, but when they are smoking, the child will be there. You will bag the child there in and out. The end of the day, you will get it. But the child, you cannot even speak. But you will say, my mother, where you send me is no good. But she cannot speak. By the end of the day, you get the child will get effect.
That was the situation when Dr. Anita Asamoah began her research for the Ghana Atomic Energy Commission's Environment Resources Lab. As she told our reporter Justice, she wanted to see if the toxic chemicals were affecting humans, and specifically if they were getting into the breast milk of mothers living and working in Agbogbloshie.
When I was thinking of a PhD topic and the issue with Agbogbloshie, I've been there. We all go there sometimes to buy stuff and come home, and saw that just opposite the bigger market was this big e-way site, and most of the population at the market are women and children. I knew something was wrong, but then I cannot just talk. I needed a tangible result to prove that maybe this is not right, something must be done. Actually, I did a study with soil to check whether maybe there are contaminants in the soil. And after I saw that, I wanted to proceed with the effect on humans, the people around. So I chose breast milk because I'm not being biased. I'm a female, and I saw that to be a non-invasive way of getting human samples to be able to tell the level of contamination in humans. And more importantly, it's important to children. Breast milk is not just a waste like urine and other things. This is a food for infants. So to check whether we are giving our children nourishment or poison, and to bring the attention of the powers that be to do the needful.
So then, take us through the process. What did you consider? How did you select the people? What did you take them through, and how did you come about all of that?
I needed people who had stayed and worked around Agbogbloshie for some number of years, and also number of births. Because I was using breast milk, I needed to know whether they are first birth mothers, they are multiple birth mothers and all. And also as of their occupation, because whatever I was looking for may be also acquired through other means if they've lived in a contaminated site area and all. So that's part of the things that I considered in selecting the women. So some were first birth mothers, some were mothers who have already had children and were residing or working around Agbogbloshie.
And what did you find?
So I sampled about 128 women within that period, some years, about 2-3 years, agreeing to give their milk. It was to check for polycyclic aromatic hydrocarbons. These are caused by burns, indiscriminate burning. And if you look at Agbogbloshie, Their work involved this openly dismantling of electrical gadgets, and after they've had whatever they want, they burn the bags, which are plastic and all. And even some of these metals are also embedded in plastic cables and others. So they need to burn all to be able to get what they need. During the burns, there's a release of these toxic materials, not only PAHs. We have some other toxic chemicals that are released. Some are called dioxins and furans, but they are all poisonous substances that are not good for human health. It can kill, it can lead to very serious sicknesses. So once they do these open burns, they release all these toxic chemicals into the atmosphere. And as we breathe or inhale, some of these get into our body, some settle on food, some settle on our body, and a whole lot. You see people selling food openly, and these are all roots of contamination. So to satisfy my curiosity, I brought the milk sample, took them through an analytical process to analyze for PAHs, that's polycyclic aromatic hydrocarbons. And lo and behold, 18 different congeners of these PAHs were found in the milk. And to be sure whether I'm not being biased, I also tried to sample milk around the Ashoman estate area, which is mostly a residential area without some of these e-waste activities. So I sampled for their milk also, brought it and worked alongside with the Agbogbloshie milk. And the milk from Agbogbloshie had this PAHs, a total range about 15,936.56 nanogram of these contaminants. Then I tried to do a source apportionment, try to use a model to predict the source of these contaminants in the milk. Where is it coming from? Then my test revealed a pyrogenic source, which is as a result of indiscriminate burns, which was in line with what happens at Agbogbloshie.
And for those who do not know, these are two geographically distinct areas. So Ashoman is in an area where very, very distant from e-waste, any e-waste activity, and Agbogbloshie is right in the middle of it. So what was the difference between the women in Ashoman estate and then the women in Agbogbloshie?
In Ashoman estate, some we did not even record anything. And the levels, even those that were recorded, were very minimal in Ashoman estate as compared to Agbogbloshie. The levels were higher. And the higher molecular weight PAHs, which are carcinogenic, that is cancer, they can lead to cancer and other diseases, were mostly found in the milk from Agbogbloshie.
My name is Vincent Kyere. I'm currently the team leader for the Ministry of Environment e-waste project.
Tell me about the work that you've done, your experience in terms of e-waste recycling in Ghana in general, specifically around the Agbogbloshie area.
We started our activities at Agbogbloshie around 2010-2012, when Agbogbloshie was becoming a bad publicity for the country. So we started to look at what are the activities over there, what are the impact of the activities on humans, on the environment, on soil, on food. So we did a number of work over there where we looked at which sites are mostly contaminated, which environmental impact are people mostly affected with, what are the health of the recycling activities or the recovery activities, the informal recovery activities at Agbogbloshie. Now we think that we have also done a lot of this investigation, less publicity, and we want to look at what interventions can really work in situations that we find ourselves in.
So you have seen the work that Dr. Anita Asamoah has done around the impact that especially the smoke or the pee has on. What's your assessment generally of it and then the issue itself?
I think that Dr. Asamoah's work just comes as a confirmation of earlier activities or earlier work that has been done where pollutions of levels that we consider way above what is expected is confirmed by her work. Her work is also showing another dimension, breast milk, which everybody thinks that this is the safest food that you can give to a baby. And we are now seeing that this feeding is now an issue to deal with.
So you have, let's say, you've been working around Agbogbloshie area since 2010. How serious is the problem?
I think the problem is a serious one. It's something that if it's not serious, you will not see government trying to put intervention in place. So this is a serious that has caught the attention of government, and government is trying to use all his resources available to them to really make sure that the problem is dealt with. So you will see government trying all the interventions like the incentive payment system that they are doing currently. So it's a serious problem that needs everybody's attention. You realize that it is not only the people who are involved that are impacted with, it goes beyond just the people who are involved. If you look at Anita's work, he's looking at smoke and then how it travels and then where it leaves the deposit to. And clearly, if you are measuring it in commercial areas, if you are measuring it in residential areas, which are not really based on the places where the burning or other activities are done, and we are seeing this, it tells you this is a national issue that we all have to pay attention to.
And this is also just by it, one of the biggest food markets in Accra. How difficult is it trying to either regulate or prevent people from coming in there to engage in this burning?
Well, we are always dealing with issues of livelihood as against environment. A lot of people depends on the activities that go on there. If you want to look at Agbogbloshie per se, they have said that it's about 120,000 families or 120 lives depends on some of the activities over there. And clearly that tells you that people are really dependent on it. If you want to drive people away and you have not provided any alternative for them to do, that is where the problem is. Now that there are alternatives, you will see that people are moving away from the current way of activities and gradually shifting into these new interventions that are coming in. Clearly, if you go there and you see somebody burning in 2019, he will tell you that if I don't burn, what do I eat? What do I take home to my parents who are waiting for me in the north, to my wife and kids who are here? So clearly, you cannot just deal with it with the sentiment that, oh, it is contaminating breast milk, but you have to deal with livelihood issues also head on and provide alternative for the people who are doing those kind of activities. And for me, this you see clearly government really putting in some kind of incentive with the collection of e-waste.
But this is not the first time the government has come out with any of these interventions. In your opinion, why has it been so difficult getting some of these interventions to actually work?
Well, I think that the intervention is working, but as things have been done over a period for a long time, it takes time for people to really come to accept this new normal or new ways of doing things. Clearly, people were burning cables, and they were burning cables almost on a daily basis. Currently, with the government intervention, they have collected almost about 490 tons of cables from the system, which means that at least there is some kind of alternative. Cables that ordinarily would have been burnt. So I believe that there is more to do, and it will take us some time for us to see the impact of what is being done. We need much more education. People need to be aware of the issues, of the implications. And I think that gradually, since the government started this somewhere 2020, for the implementation of the incentive system, you could see that people are now changing their ways. People who used to go there to burn are now also changing their ways. So I believe that there is hope in the sector, you see that government try to move them from where they are. You see, government sees that there is a problem with it, and I think that the impact might be slow, but I believe that with a little bit of education, it is not only about the movement, but a little bit of education, a little bit of awareness, a little bit of sharing some of what Anita has done will really impact on us seeing progress.
In 2020, the government tried to close down the Agbogbloshie e-waste site and move people away. That didn't work because they just set up again. As Dr. Vincent Kyere explains, a better intervention has been to support less polluting forms of recycling.
What government is trying to do is to look at recycling and disposal of electronic waste in an environmentally sound manner. And what government is doing is to have this three approach. One, put in a system that will collect the items without setting fire on it. So the items that are problematic for the scrap dealers to deal with, government have this intervention in place where it says that if you would have burned the cable to get 50 cedis, now don't burn the cable. Let me give you an equivalent of if you have not burned it, what you would have. And with that, people are saying, okay, since I'm not burning and you are giving me this, then I will likely bring it to you. So based on this, government has collected 498 tons so far from this. Now, we have also a formal sector with a little bit of machines who needed this material to recycle. But because of the way that the scrap dealers were dealing with it, they didn't get these materials. So government said, okay, if I've been able to collect from the scrap dealers, then let me give it to the former recyclers to see if they can also recycle it in an environmentally sound manner. And government has tried to even tender this fair 60 tons of material former recycler to recycle it. So ordinarily, you would imagine that over 4 years, we would have burnt almost about 500 tons, that 498 tons of material just trying to recover copper. But with this intervention, we have been able to take almost 498 tons of this material out of the burning area. But we also have to look beyond Agbogbloshie. At times, I think that we all over-concentrate our efforts in Accra and Agbogbloshie, but there are other areas that are springing up that if we don't pay much attention, it will turn out another Agbogbloshie, and we will not be addressing the issue at Agbogbloshie, but we will only be shifting the Agbogbloshie issue to other places.
Making the air at Agbogbloshie safe to breathe is a slow process, and monitoring the results is dependent on research by people like Dr. Anita Asamoah. She talks about the next steps for her research, which she hopes will be able to contribute to environmental sustainability.
It hasn't been easy, and it's still not easy. It calls for hard work, collaboration, and all. I need to follow up on this work, and I'm still writing grants to secure money to do a follow-up test. It's not easy, but I'm trying. And I feel fulfilled when my work is able to touch lives and protect the ordinary people whose voice may not be heard. So it's not easy, but then I feel fulfilled, and I'm trying in my own little way to be able to still work hard, work assiduously to build my motherland and protect generations to come. It is my time. I need to contribute to help and leave the world a better place than I came to meet it.
Anita Asamoah is a scientist in biotechnology, chemistry, and environmental engineering. She shares what inspired her to become a researcher in this field.
I've loved science. I was motivated, I think, when I was in class 5 by Professor Ramadi Amirajwa. And I used to admire her so much, even at class 5. I didn't know much what research was about, but I saw myself in her and said, one day I'll be Professor Irajwa, just like her.
And what advice would she give to young women in Africa today who may become the research scientists of the future?
I will encourage them to be resilient, love what they do, know that sometimes it's not just about them. is about other people who look up to you, and they can do all. They can do all. Females are equally good. We can have it all in our chosen path of careers in the sciences. There are a lot of opportunities for women in science. We want to rate our power with the men, so a lot of women are given the opportunity. The world has full of opportunities, and science is not limited to the medical field. Even with Graduate School of Nuclear and Allied Sciences, there are a lot of career paths and disciplines. All you need is to study and explore and explore. So young women, the sky is not even your limit.
Back at Agbogbloshie market, Rukaya continues to work as a potter and trader, but her 2-year-old daughter lives away from the smoke with her grandmother.
I don't want my child, this situation to affect my child, because it's too bad. Because me myself, as right now, I get effects, but because it's not too bad, it's because of the heavy load I get effect. But me, I don't want the children to. Even I told my colleagues that if you don't want to go home, and you know that you went to the May here, quickly let your child go home, so that whatever you are doing every week, you can send some more to your mother. Then you will be half a piece. Even now, my child is not there, but wherever I'm going, I can go, because I know that the child is schooling there. Every week, every Sunday, I normally send my mother money, 60 cedi for the child. But so that is why I don't want Kai people, our children, to be here. Even right now, I told the girl that when we are coming, I say, where you are even giving the child milk, it's not the right way, but you have any option, because this is the gutter, and you sweat. Where you went is sweating. But when you come, you didn't even wash the breast and you're giving to the child. Or if there is a duct, the child is sucking the milk inside his stomach. But she says she can't talk. If the breast is dirty and it's no good, she's even sucking because she don't know anything. But it's affecting the child. But it's not today.
Dr. Asamoah has found that the smoke around Agbogbloshie has contaminated breast milk. She has a young family herself, and she advises mothers on the importance of safe breastfeeding.
Wherever I stand, I always defend breastfeeding, because breastfeeding is the best. And even today, I will recommend that. As a mother, I breastfeed my children. I go through the 6 months exclusive breastfeeding. So this work is not actually to prevent people from giving their children breast milk. It's the best meal you can ever give to your child. But then, my aim is to make sure that breast milk is protected so that our children get the nourishment they need, but not contaminated milk. So we should continue to breastfeed. We should continue to protect breast milk. And our policy makers should also do their best so that women can give breast milk, which is the best food or nutrient for our children, knowing that their breast milk is not poisonous substance, but nourishment to their children.
That's all from us at Science Explained today. If you want to find out more, head to the SciDevNet website. That's www.scidev.net. Today's show was produced by Martin Redfern, with editing by Ogechie Kianyawo and Titilope Fadare, and hosting by me, Ogechie Kianyawo. Today's reporter was Justice Baidoo. Until next time, it's goodbye. Africa Science Focus is produced by SciDevNet and distributed in association with your local radio station.